Welcome, guys. How you guys are doing today? Today you're going to be learning how we help families to create a stronger financial foundation, and we're going to be covering a lot of information. So, if at this moment, if this is your first time tuning in with us, I will encourage you to get a notepad and definitely take a lot of good notes because I'm going to cover a lot of things when it comes to financial planning and how to create a stronger financial foundation. If you do have any questions that you may come across, you could text us at 321-312-0130. Once again, you could text us at 321-312-0130, or you could also go to our landing page where you could go to https /linktree /BShynaz Legacy LLC. All right. So, with no further ado, let's get into today's conversation. What is that we're here to talk about today? But just before that, let's give you a quick introduction about who I am. So my name is Coach Keyon Corniffe. A lot of people call me Mr. Finance on social media. I was born and raised in Jamaica. Grew up in New Jersey, in a small town called Boonton, New Jersey. I'm a family man. I'm a father, and I'm a man of faith. I'm a definitely strong believer that if you put God first, your family comes second only to God, and most importantly, put your wealth third, and most importantly, charity. Those are some of the things that I believe in: loyalty, trust, and respect. But where I was from, like I said, born and raised in Jamaica, grew up in a small town in New Jersey called Boonton. Very proud. Currently reside here in Florida at this moment, and definitely looking forward to going to many, many more places. So what I did before HGI is that I used to work three jobs. I used to work from 3:45 in the morning to 11:30 at night, and then I got introduced to a company called World Financial Group by a cousin of mine. I've been with them for over a decade, and then recently transitioned over to HGI due to the fact that I wanted ownership. And HGI was able to provide me with that ownership opportunity. And that was one of the reasons why I decided to, join and be a part of HGI and definitely start this crusade to continue helping families. Now, why I do it. The reason why I do this is because I believe that families deserve financial education. When I first came to this country, I wish someone would have did it for my mother. My mother was a hardworking woman. She worked multiple jobs, and she saved up a lot of money. She got into wholesale and real estate, and no one didn't teach her much about finance. And we learned a very hard lesson where we lost every property that was owned, and we went back from owning to renting. And from that, I realized the lack of financial literacy was the main reason for that. Because if something like a simple information about a short sale, that would have been valuable. So I personally joined the crusade because I believe that every family deserves financial education, and the only thing you should have to pay is attention for it. And that's one of the things that really moved me to do what I'm doing and continue to be my main purpose for being an educator and helping families here in the industry. But just to tell you a little bit about what is HGI. Now, HGI stands for the Hedgeman Group International. We are an integrity company and we are a financial marketing firm. And pretty much what we do is that we provide financial education with some financial planning and services for free. There's no cost for that, it's all complimentary. And why we do it is because our mission is to help families to learn how to create wealth. And the reason why we want families to learn how to create wealth is because of the concerns that we know that families are facing. Everybody's facing: how do I make more money? Where do I save my money? How do I grow my money? Why do I need to protect my money, and from who? These are concerns that families are facing every day. And you got to ask yourself, which of the four concerns is your number one concern today? And that's why we want to help families to continue to win the money game. Now, as you already know, these are the things that we're going to talk about today because it's so crucial for us to have these conversations about money. Because if we're not having money conversation, how can we win the money game? And it's very important for us to win the money game. So, why do we need to win the money game? Let's talk about that a little bit. If we're going to win the money game, we got to understand what to expect. In our firm, you're going to expect to learn how to increase your cash flow. We're going to teach you how to earn additional income and how to manage your expenses. You're going to learn how to manage your debts, right? You're going to understand how to consolidate and eliminate your debts. We're going to teach you how to create an emergency fund. Where and how do you save 3 to 6 months of your income to prepare for those unexpected expenses? We're going to teach you how to put together proper protection. Why you need to protect your family against any loss of income or how to protect your family's assets. We're going to teach you these things. You will learn how to build wealth. We're going to show you where you can save and invest your money so that way you can outpace inflation and also learn how to become an active money management. You will learn how to preserve your wealth. You're going to learn how to avoid probate and reduce taxation upon your families upon you passing, because what's the use of building an empire if you're only going to build it to just be a memory when we want to teach you how to become a legacy? So it's important for us to pass down financial understanding. So it is very crucial for you to learn the 4 things you must know. There's 4 things you must know when it comes to your finances. And number one, you need to learn why. Why do you need to make more money? Right? Why do you need to learn how to make more money? It's simply because if you don't learn how to make more money, then when it comes to your retirement, you won't know what is your final income number for your retirement. Did you know that when it comes to your retirement, I got to ask you 2 questions. Do you currently know how much you need in order to retire comfortably? And do you also know how much you should save in order to reach retirement goals? Because if you don't know these 2 things, but you know where to save it, but you don't know how much you need to save, and you don't know how much you need in order to retire comfortably, then that's a major problem. That's one of the first things we're going to teach you. You're also going to learn how to save. You're going to learn how to save money. But if you're going to learn how to save money, you got to learn the 50-30-20 budgeting plan. I actually just recently released a book on this that is available on Amazon. You could get this book and it will break down simply how to use this simple budgeting formula. But we're going to also teach you it. Because when it comes to budgeting, tracking spending isn't budgeting. When it comes to your budgeting, you got to know 2 things. One of them is that you must know how much you need to save, and you also have to know how much you need to spend. If you don't know how much to save and how much to spend, you don't understand budgeting. You can't track what you don't know. And it's important for us to teach you these things. That's why we're going to teach you. Also, we're going to show you the goal. The goal is to grow your money. But in order for your money to grow, you got to learn what is called how to create a stronger financial foundation. If you're going to put together a financial foundation, here are 4 things that we're going to help you to establish. Number one, we're going to help you to establish proper protection. Number 2, we're going to help you to establish how to manage your debts. Number 3, we're going to help you to create an emergency fund. And number 4, we're going to teach you where to save and invest your money. These are the things you're going to be learning in our program. Number 4, we're going to teach you how to plan. We're going to show you the plan how to protect your money. If you're going to protect your money, you got to establish an estate plan. And if you're going to establish an estate plan, we're going to show you how you can use a will, a power of attorney, a health directive, and a trust in order to establish a strong estate plan. You got to plan how to protect your money. And these are the 4 things that we're going to teach you. How to make it, save it, grow it, and protect it, because that's why you need to learn how to win the money game. So in order for us to understand this, creating a financial foundation, like I said, is putting together proper protection. Now, what is that you're protecting yourself and your family from? Those unexpected moments. There's 3 events in your life that you can't predict when it's going to happen to you. Number 1, you can't predict when you're going to die. You can't predict when you're going to be sick. And you can't predict when you're going to be disabled. And it's important and crucial for you to know what you need to have in place for those unexpected moments. We also want to teach you how to manage your debt. But if you're going to manage your debts, you got to learn, who do you owe? What is the interest upon what you owe? What is the balance that you owe? And what is the minimum payment that is required? Because we're going to teach you how to pay down your debt and build up your credit at the same time. It's important to have good credit, but it's also important for you to learn how to manage it. We're going to show you how to create an emergency fund. And if you're going to create an emergency fund, we're going to teach you how to save 3 to 6 months of your income so that way you can plan for those unexpected moments. And then we're going to show you how to save and invest your money. And you're going to learn what is your risk and tax tolerance. You got to know what is your risk class. Do you know what kind of risk class are you? Are you conservative? Are you a moderate? Are you aggressive? Are you a moderate growth? You got to know these things. What is your risk class when it comes to taking risks on making money? You also got to know what is your tax class. What is your tax tolerance? Are you someone that wants your money to be taxable? Do you want it to be tax deferred? Do you want it to be tax advantage? You got to know the difference between the three ways your money be taxed. And it's so crucial for you to learn these fundamentals. These are things that we're going to be teaching you in the program simultaneously at all times. Now, when it comes to put together proper protection, we're going to teach you the importance of owning life insurance. You got to own life insurance, not because of you dying, but most importantly, planning for if you die too soon and if you live too long. You got to plan for both events. What if you die too soon? You got to have the right life insurance in place. What if you live too long? You got to have the right life insurance in place. We're going to help you to put together health insurance. You must know the difference between having a PPO versus an HMO. You got to understand the difference between the two because one gives you restrictions, one gives you no restrictions. One is cheaper, one is more expensive. You got to know the difference, which is right for you. We're also going to teach you about long-term care. You got to understand the importance of owning long-term care insurance because if you don't own long-term care insurance, then your retirement years might be the hardest years of your life. And God forbid if something happens to you in your earlier years, then that also too could be a problem in your years to come. We're also going to teach you about estate planning. You got to learn how to cover all these things. That's why we tell you that you're going to understand the fundamentals of protecting your wealth. Estate planning is probably one of the biggest reasons why many of us lose our legacy and only become a memory upon passing and transitioning. So we're going to show you how to do these things and plan and put things in place. Now, when it comes to understanding all of these things, if you're going to own life insurance, you got to understand something called your dime method. If you don't know your dime method is important. So if your life insurance agent is not using this method to help you to get coverage, then they're obviously just selling it. And I just want to be very straightforward and very transparent with you. If you know your dime, then you know all the things you need to protect at the same time. 4 reasons you need to own life insurance. One, you need debt protection. You need to protect all your debts on your credit cards, your student loans, your car note, your medical, and etc. You got to protect your debt. If you can't pay it off, cover it so it doesn't become someone else's burden in the years to come. Number 2, you need income protection. You need to have at least 10 times your annual income protected. God forbid something was to happen to you. You want to make sure that your income won't disappear for the next 10 years. What if you have a dependent like children or a spouse, or you care for your loved ones like a family member or a parent? You got to make sure that you have 10 times your annual income in place for God forbid moments in these situations. Number 3, you got to have mortgage protection. What is the balance in your mortgage? Is it protected? Because most of the time, a lot of people own PMI and they believe that that insurance is for you. It's absolutely not. It only covers the bank. You want to make sure that you have insurance to protect your mortgage. Because upon passing, do you want your loved ones to go homeless? Or do you want them to stay in the home? Right? You want to make sure that nothing happens to that home, even in your absence. And even educational protection. You got to protect your children's future. You got to plan for their college tuition. The average tuitions right now for a 4-year college could be anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 per child's tuition. So you got to make sure that you have that proper protection in place for your kids' college education. So when you own life insurance, you got to consider these 4 things. And you want to make sure that you own the right protection that protect your dime. So when it comes down to it, if you're going to own life insurance and you want to plan for those unexpected moments, especially upon passing, you got to own final expense insurance. These are the things about final expenses, why it's so important. It provides protection. It provides you with protection where, God forbid, something was to happen to you, your family will be receiving tax-free death benefit, where the death benefit will pay out to them tax-free. But what's more unique about final expense versus any insurance is that with a final expense insurance, it pays out within 48 hours. Your regular life insurance, like your term or any permanent policies, these could take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks to process the check. So that's why you want to have a final expense, because that final expense pays out within 48 hours. You also want to make sure that you have a company that provides you with concierge services. A lot of final expense companies, they provide a lot of concierge service where you could call a professional anywhere in the world for 24/7, anytime you get access. Now, you also have online planning with some of these final expenses as well. We work with companies that provide you with online planning, where you get unlimited storage. You can write out a plan and your wishes, and you can protect your assets, which means that you can prepare documents to protect your assets and give instructions like a will prep, a power of attorney, and a health directive. All of these things can be packaged in a final expense with some of the companies that we work with. So if you would like to see if you qualify for this, definitely get in touch with us so that way we can help you. Also, when it comes to owning term insurance, you want to make sure that you spend time to own term with living benefits. What do I mean by this? You got to have living benefits so you can have that proper protection. Once again, you have proper protection like in case of death, right? If something was to happen to you, you have protection so your death will be covered. How about if you was to get sick? What if you get any terminal or chronic or critical illnesses? You want to make sure that it protects all of these events as well. So not only if you die too soon, but what if you live too long, or what if you become ill? So what are some of the tax advantages that you receive? Well, you get tax-free death benefit. You also get tax-free payout while you're alive if you get any chronic, terminal, or critical illnesses. That's something that's very unique about a term because most people say that term has no benefits. Yes, term has no cash value, but if it have living benefits attached to it, it also have benefits to you in the event if you become sick. Also, it's very affordable. You get a lot more coverage to cover that dime, and you get it at a lower premium at the same time. And when the years to come, you can convert it. It is convertible. You can actually convert it to a permanent insurance with no medical requirements. And that's what makes it so unique and so powerful to own term with living benefits. Once again, if you'd like to qualify, get in touch with us. Also, if you're going to own universal life insurance, it's a great place to take advantage of the flexibility. You know, the index give you access to multiple indexes like the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, NASDAQ, just to name a few. Universal means that it's very universal, which means it's very flexible. So you get a lot of flexibility where you can make changes as you go. The life portion of it is the life insurance side of it. And that's where you're able to get a lot of growth potential. Did you know that in an index universal life insurance, you have growth potential with multiple index account options, which means that if the market goes up, you have the potential to earn income in it. But what's more important is the safety feature. The fact that you're guaranteed a minimum interest rate or on a floor, which means that if the market was to go down, we also guarantee you to never lose money. And that's because it has a floor of anywhere from 0% or more. Also, the tax advantages. You get a lot of tax deferred growth, which means that you pay no capital gains tax. You get tax-free withdrawals or tax-free loans or tax-free death benefits for your loved ones up when you pass it. You pay no taxes. You don't pay taxes on the gains. You don't pay taxes when you're taking it. And you don't pay taxes on when you die and you pass it on. That's what's so powerful about an index universal life. And it also provides protection as well, which means it comes with living benefits, which means that if you have any chronic, critical, or terminal illnesses, you're protected. Which means that if you get sick, that money also will be tax-free payout to you upon any circumstances. So an index universal life may not be for everyone, but for the right person that is qualified, it can be for you as well if it fits. Now, when it comes down to putting together an index annuity, these are for all my folks that have 401ks, or you work with a company that 401ks, 403bs, 457s, you have an IRA or an annuity. If you have these things from the previous employer, we teach you how to roll that over. How to do a rollover. Why? Because you get a lot of growth potential. You get a lot of growth potential with an index account options, and you get bonuses, which means that you could earn anywhere from 10 upwards to even 30% sign-on bonuses. So imagine if you had $100,000 in your 401k currently, and we show you how to roll that over, right? We showed you how to roll that over, and you're able to get a 30% on that. That's $30,000 right up front just for moving your funds into a secure vehicle. It's important to know the difference between having a secure funds and an unsecure funds. But also in an index universal life, it provides what's called safety. Guarantee on the principal, which means I guarantee to never lose when the market corrects itself. You never lose money when the market corrects. And yes, it provides an income for life option as well. These options are available to receive income for life. It almost sounds like a pension, isn't it? So it's a really great feature. They have an income for life rider that could be attached to these vehicles. And yes, it has a death benefit portion of it, which means that the annuity dividend is driven, which means that God forbid something was to happen to your policy, your account will be paid out to your beneficiaries just like a life insurance will. Did you know that annuities are also considered to be like a reverse life insurance, right? It's like a reverse life insurance. That's what's so unique about it. And it also avoid probate, by the way, just so you know, just like your life insurance do. So when it comes to estate planning, we're going to help you establish that. Why? Is because you're going to get access to a living will. Okay, a living will, and a living will is pretty much a legal is a legal enforceable declaration of how a person wants their property and their assets to be distributed after death. You got to have all your wishes in writing, especially if you have young children. You want to make sure that you have young children. You got to assign who will be their guardian upon your absence. And on top of this, you also want to make sure that yes, if your child turned over 18 and due to the HIPAA law, you want to make sure that your child also have a will and a power of attorney, which leads me to my next conversation, a trust. Why must you have a trust? Well, a trust is designed and it allow for the easier to transfer or pretty much transfer any of your assets, right? So it's a great way to transfer assets that could bypass often complex and expensive legal process, which is known as a probate. You want to do that. A trust comes in multiple forms. You have land trust, you have real estate trust, you have a revocable trust. So it's very important to know which trust is great for you, and you also want to establish a power of attorney. Who's going to make decisions for you, because a power of attorney is a document which names and authorizes a person to make financial decisions, property decisions or medical decisions for another person. So who's your power of attorney currently, and who's your children's power of attorney if they're over 18 years old? You always want to have these conversations. And also you got to have an advanced directive known as a health directive. This is a document that's pretty much naming a person to make any healthcare decisions for another person when the principal is no longer able to do so, which is you. So if you're not in a position to make any health decisions and you want to put things in writing ahead of time, you could do so with an advanced directive or a health directive. It's very important to establish these things. And that's what an estate planning look like. And we want to help you to establish this. It's very, very crucial and very important. So just so you know, right? What's so important about everything that we're sharing with you today? It is important for you to know that yes, you can have all of those things established, but we provide an annual review. Every year, we're going to meet with you to talk about what is the cost, right? What does all this cost you, right? We're going to talk about how much are you saving every year? How much are you saving every year? And we're going to talk about how much you made in your investments, right? How's your investments doing? How's your portfolio doing? We're going to talk about what is the value? What is the value of your estate? Right? We're going to talk about these things. Did it increase? Did it decrease? But every year we will be meeting together to establish and do our final and annual review. That's something that we provide, and we want to make sure that you know that we provide this for you and your family as well. So our gift to you is pretty much our Conquer Your Future book. And these concepts are examples of pretty much what you could learn within the next 30 to 90 days in our financial coaching program. And that's why reading 35 pages of the Conquer Your Future book can pretty much keep poverty away. You just got to learn and implement, right? And that's something we're going to teach you in our program in our next 30 to 90 days if you're ready. So we work with many companies. As you can see, these are some of the companies that we have partnered with to provide you with some of the top rating companies that we provide a lot of financial services through. So we help families with a wide range of variety of things, like you see, from life insurance to even investment portfolios or estate planning, just to name a few. These are a few things that we help families with, and we work with some of the top companies out there. So when it's all said and done, the question I want to ask is, do you have any questions? And if you do have any questions, please, what's the next step? You just got to literally just schedule a follow-up session within the next 24 to 72 hours just to learn the new rules of money and complete a financial needs analysis. And also, if you like a copy, check your email. Send us a text and we will email you a copy of the Conquer Your Future book. So that way you could click that link and provide, there's going to be a survey as well. So you can fill out some feedback and definitely share those with us, because it helps us to get better. So that way we can make you better in every aspect of things. So let's start creating your financial foundation. And all you have to do, once again, is just text us at 321-312-0130. So that way we can empower you, we can teach you, and we will show you how to continue winning the money game. So with that said, guys, my name is Coach Keyon Corniffe, also known as Mr. Finance, your favorite financial educator and business coach. And at this moment, you are one decision away from changing the future for the better. So always remember that the choice is always yours. And I look forward to seeing you at the top because the bottom is too crowded. Until then, keep winning. See you at the top.